So 20 something years ago, we were all in the hallways rushing to get to class. And one of our favorite classes to go to included our American history teacher. It was a time. And some of the things we loved, some of the things we hated, but 20 plus years later, we have so many memories and we're excited to take a walk down memory lane. The best part of this is our teacher is here. So help me welcome Miss Murrow. Hi, Miss Murrow.
Hi, how are
I'm good.
you?
How are you?
Good, very good, very good.
Miss Murrow, when I called you 3 weeks ago now, what was your first thought? Or what came to mind when I said, it's Zenobia from 23 years ago?
It just took me back to teaching and enjoying teaching and being at motivation and all the awesome students that I had there.
Okay. So, Miss Murrow, you taught us American history and social science.
Correct.
So, for 11th and 12th grade, we had you every day. So, what was your desire as a Black female educator in the late 90s for your students? Or what did you want to give off to folks as their teacher?
Well, I would say a couple of things. One, I wanted you to be prepared for college.
Mhm,
I wanted you to succeed in college. I wanted you to know that you could do well in college.
mhm.
I wanted you also to enjoy education,
Fair.
enjoy learning,
Mhm,
enjoy finding things that you could be passionate about.
mhm.
I did not have to be American history, did not have to be social science. Most people it usually wasn't, but something that you would be passionate
Okay, that's fair. Miss Murrow, you know you used to make us take notes all the time?
about. Yes.
I mean, it was a lot. It was why are we writing every day on the projector, on the wall? And we had notes.
Yes.
Okay. So what did you feel that that process would give us? What skill were you trying to build in us with that strategy?
Well, I remember when I went to college and I had professors stand in front of me and start talking. I didn't know what to do
Mhm.
because I had not been given these skills.
Right.
So I was determined my students would know when they walked into a college classroom, the professor started talking, you get your notebook out, you get your pen out, and you start writing.
Okay. And I think as a college graduate, I think you prepared us because that was very true. I think that is exactly what happened. So it was a good time. Okay, Miss Merle, let's get into a little bit of dirt. Was there anybody from our years, think 97 to '01, were there any students, you don't have to call their names, but that just made you feel like this is hopeless? We probably not going to make it far in the world. Was there anybody that made you feel like that in our years?
None that I can think of. There was a class that was not your class. It
Okay. Of
was
course not.
before your class.
Okay.
I had only one senior class the whole time I was at Motivation
Hmm.
that actually made me turn to the blackboard and let tears come out
Oh, why?
because they acted more immature than my 10th graders.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
just couldn't believe I could have seniors that would be that immature.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't us. You
No,
got that on
oh,
tape. It
absolutely
wasn't us.
not.
We're amazing.
Definitely.
Okay. So, Miss Merle, I called you 3 weeks ago. I told you we were doing this documentary. We're trying to get our reunion together. You've seen some of us now. You've seen some of the ladies. So, what do you think? We are grown. We are career women. We are mothers, wives. What has been your thought today or over the past 3 weeks since this idea has been presented to you?
I think one of the main things is that I am thankful to God that He would allow me to be at Motivation. When I first went to Motivation, that was actually I wasn't supposed to be there.
Okay.
There was supposed to be another teacher there
Mhm.
because the way it was set up, there was only one African American teacher at that time.
Mhm.
So they wanted to replace with an African American teacher. So another teacher and I were saying came in together.
Mhm.
I had the dance program, so they decided to allow her to go, and I was going to stay. But then her husband got something to go to law school.
Okay.
And as far as I'm concerned, God made that pathway so I
Mhm.
could go to motivation. When I look at you young ladies now, and I'm going to call you young ladies now, I am filled with pride.
I
I
love
am
it.
filled with knowing that, yeah. everything, all the nights I stayed up to mark papers, all the summer in August when I said, okay, it's time to get started with what am
Yeah.
I going to do next year. It was all worth it.
Oh, that makes us proud. Okay, so
Yeah.
you feel like you've had an impact, a
Yes.
positive
Yeah.
impact.
I hope, pray I did.
Oh, you did. So you called us young ladies. We're 40 now. We're grown. That's my word for 40 is grown. But how old are you, Miss Merle?
I am 78.
78.
Yes.
Miss Merle. So 20 something years ago, you were in your late 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with us. Okay, okay. And are you still in education?
Not in the form of public school any longer, but I still love education. I teach at my church.
Okay.
I have Bible study at my church. I have youth service that I work with at church. I still work the youth ministry. As long as I can teach and can work with work with my dancers,
Mhm.
I'm happy.
Okay. All right. So, Miss Merle, I've been in education for 18 years. So I can empathize with what you probably went through when we were students. One of the things you gave us our junior year was this project that when you first introduced it, we hated it. And we thought, well, this is the worst thing ever. It was a year-long project. We had a criteria where we had to capture specific things that happened throughout the year in our city. And then we were able to put personal things in there. Before I share what this meant to me, what was your desire for this project? What were you thinking at the time?
My thinking was, since we were doing American history, was that I want you to see your living history.
Mhm.
You were living history
Right.
during that time period. So I wanted you to capture your living history as juniors
Mhm.
so that you could have something to remember afterwards. And I realize most young people, when you first give them a project like this, it's like, really? Do you have to do this one more extra thing?
Mhm.
And I'm one of these stubborn people. If I already feel as though that's what we're going to do, then that's what we're going to do.
Mhm.
But I felt when most of you handed those projects in, you were proud of those projects.
Absolutely.
You were proud. I remember the secretary um, at the school one time said some of them brought them in us,
Mhm.
showed us what they did, and
Mhm.
how proud they were of these
Yeah.
projects. I mean, of course, just sitting down and reading all this stuff, but that was all right. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, here's mine, and I got an A, if anyone's wondering, because I'm an A student. But Miss Merle, there are things in here. You made us go by month. We had to organize it by month. There were events like Hurricane Floyd, right? We had to have news articles to I don't even know if people use newspapers anymore, but we had to have news. She said no. Somebody said no. Somebody in the background said no. We had to have news articles. We had there was a mayoral race in Philly at the time. And just the thought that I have clippings of real newspaper articles, right? Like who would have thought? Um, this says packing heat at Bartram High. Oh Lord, maybe that's not a story I should have pulled out. Maybe somebody had a gun. I don't know. It's Philly, whatever. But I agree with you, Ms. Merle. The impact. We all look at these. We have pictures, all kind of things of just our high school experience. So 23 years later, we can look back and to your point, have something of our living history to give to us. So I don't know if you know or if anybody has told you, but you've definitely left an indelible mark on several groups of young people who we are now adults and most of us are thriving. How does that make you feel?
Awesome. I am so blessed. I really do. I thank God for allowing me to be at that school for 31 years
31 years.
and to experience the young people there.
Hmm.
And I didn't think I understood it as much as when I taught summer school and I had students from other schools.
Hmm.
And I was like, my God, really? I said to someone, I will never complain about my students ever again.
Fair.
Yeah, but it was a privilege. I guess it was an awesome privilege. That was it. And I knew that I had to take the responsibility serious.
Yeah. Okay. You mentioned being hired as a teacher to replace someone, but they wanted to replace and make sure it was a black teacher as well. There weren't many of you all in our 4-year experience there. So how did you find a safe space, or was there a safe space for you? Did you have a buddy or a teammate or somebody to help you kind of navigate that space back in that time?
Well, Andrea Powell and I were buddies. And it was funny because some of the kids couldn't tell whether she was African American or not. They
Talk
would
about it,
say,
Miss Merle. Talk about
is she white or is she not? Is she white or is she not? And they would ask me, and I just smiled because I wasn't answering the question.
Uh-huh. And we
Um,
wouldn't dare ask her.
oh, you knew
Oh God,
better.
no.
You knew
Mm-mm.
better than that. But she was my buddy. She was the person I could talk to anytime about anything. But the one thing I'm going to say that I need to say about most of the teachers that
Mhm,
you had what I would call master teachers.
mhm. I would
You
agree.
had excellent
Mhm.
teachers. I when I subbed in places when I first came out and retired, I was like blown away how horrible some of the teachers were. They had no lesson plans, they had no nothing. And I look back at teachers like Mrs. Warshaw and um, I don't know if you had Mr. Donchez, and I don't know if he was there yet or
No, we
not.
had Mr. Doyle,
You had
Mr.
Mr.
Warshaw.
There were teachers who were they were just brilliant teachers,
Yeah,
and they knew their subjects and they knew how to teach. And the thing is, they taught you.
yeah, they did
They taught you.
every
They
day.
didn't care what color the kid was sitting in front of them. If you sat in their classroom, you were going to learn.
Yep,
And I love that experience of working with teachers like that.
awesome. Miss Powell is now no longer with us, but she was definitely a force to be reckoned with. And it's good to know that she was your girl because everybody need their girl in their job. Everybody wants somebody they can go to and just, talk about the kids because we were crazy. Anything you remember about the guys, the girls, any of us, anything that sticks out that was just like you've always remembered, or when you think back on it, it just sticks out. Like that group right there, they were something different.
Oh, there were too many. But I did mention to you about I'm not mentioning three guys
Mhm.
that I thought were the diva males
Diva males,
of
talk
your
about it, Miss
of
Merle.
your class.
Hmm.
Have never before, never after had a group of young men that fashion was into them.
Uh huh.
Most guys they could care less,
Uh huh.
but these three, I mean, they were the diva males. They were, and I'm not saying it wrong because they were good students,
Oh yeah, they were
and they
amazing
worked
people.
hard to get to but that was their thing,
Yeah,
and that used to amaze me because I was
really.
just not used to having guys
That cared about it.
that cared about it that way.
Okay. Okay. And they cared.
Oh,
Well, Miss Merle, this was great. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for saying yes. I was so nervous to call you because I'm like, Miss Merle don't remember us, but you do. You remember all of us. And it's good to know that what we feel about you, it sounds like you feel about us. And so we were so grateful and appreciative to the work you did every day. And as an educator, I have a special thanks because I understand the process. And I'd never do high school. So bless your heart. But all right, so I think that's a wrap, Miss Merle.
okay,
That's all I
thank
got.
you.
Thank you.
So after 20 some years, the lovely ladies are showing up as somebody totally different from who they were 21 years ago. So please share and let the family know who you showing up as today.
I don't know if I'm showing up differently though. I wouldn't say I'm different. I would just say I'm a better version of me. But hello, everybody. You're talking to Miss Mel B, Miss Henry Cade, um, event planner extraordinaire, stylist, fashionista, fashion enthusiast. That's what I'm showing up as.
Oh, my name's Iris. I feel like I'm showing up as I would say too, not different, pretty much the same, but maybe more an upgraded version of who I was 20 something years ago. But I'm showing up as wife, mom, professional, and that's where I'm at.
I'm Dr. Story.
Yes, Doc.
Mhm.
Yes, Doc.
Take your time, work with it, whatever you
Yes,
need to
Doc.
do.
Yes, Doc.
I agree. I think I'm showing up as a better version of myself, but I am Dr. Story. I am a 18-year educator. I'm a principal. I'm a mom, and I am your girl. Hey, y'all.
I'll go next. So, my name is Cherise. Most of you would know me as Cherise Glenn, but I am now Cherise Clymer. Call me Mrs. C. Call me Reese. I am a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a VP at a bank. And just like the other ladies, I am just a upgraded version of my OG self.
Loving it, loving it.
This is Anisha Williams, aka Nishi Bop.
Yes, Miss
I'm
Bop.
definitely showing up as a better version of myself because back then it wasn't this. And I am a hairstylist now. I'm just outgoing more and just enjoying life at this time.
Love it, love it.
Try and follow up on that. All right, guys. My name is Darla Still. You may have remembered me. One of my nicknames was the Sponge, because I was pretty smart. I was number 6 out of, what was it, 500 some Bartram students. Throwing them numbers. So I work for the federal government. I work for the Department of Veterans Affairs. I am a rating officer of 15 years now, and I recently became a rebound instructor. AKA a bounce instructor. So it's a form of fitness and exercise, and it's pretty awesome. You guys should try it.
Love it, love it. So it sounds like you ladies are very, 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 very busy, right? But no, it's a lot. We have doctors, we have wives, we have moms. Y'all busy. So when y'all got the call to meet with Miss Merle, to meet with production, what made you all say yes to being a part of the Moat project for the reunion? What made you all say yes to show up today?
Well, we've been trying to get this reunion off for a while. So, about maybe almost 10 years ago, we tried. We failed. Well, it failed. I'm not gonna say we failed, but it failed. But we had a little get together, and so here we are again, trying to do this all over again. So I think that high school was a moment for all of us. I think a lot of us are still connected to people from high school. We might not be connected to everybody, but everybody has their folks they're connected with. So why not get our teachers involved, right? Thanks to social media, we've been able to find them, know them, see them. They've been able to see us. So why not sit down and talk to your teacher again 20 years later? So I think it's a great opportunity.
Yep. And I think that was a great introduction to just welcome Ms. Merle into the conversation, and she's going to join us as we continue the dialogue moving forward. But Ms. Merle, as you sit here and, you talk to the ladies and you see them and you hear the professions, the industries that they've dived into, how does that make you feel as an educator?
It makes you feel as though what you did is correct. You feel as though what you were heading for, what you wanted them to gain, they gained, and for many of them even more than what you thought. And it makes you feel good because even people who you said, is that person really going to make it? You still felt like I'm going to try hard because I really want to see everybody make it.
I was thinking sometime earlier today, and I'm sure it's probably the same way. When you have kids, we all said we were moms. Well, almost everybody. Okay, all right. Almost everybody's a mom. But when you see your kids succeed, it makes you feel like you did something right. Definitely. Anytime I see my child excel or just, be better than what I was at her age, I feel like I'm parenting right. And I say that a lot of times. There's a lot of things I don't feel like I'm doing right at this age in my life. But when I see her, I feel like, yep, you got it. You did something. You did something well. Right?
I agree.
Absolutely. For sure. Like when you have children and you see them grow and you see them just do things that you weren't willing to do, you see them experiment, you see all those things, you're like, wow. And it's a testament to, not to pat yourself on the back, but you feel like you have actually succeeded in doing something that you're supposed to do, like raising a little person to, you know what I mean, to become something is amazing. So I can only imagine you did it, with how many students over the years? So I can only imagine the feeling.
Yeah, for sure. And it sounds like you all are, basically saying the same thing when it comes to it's not about us. Like Ms. Moore was just thinking about her, then you all possibly wouldn't be sitting in the seats that you were sitting, that you're sitting in, and then if you all were thinking about yourself, you probably couldn't make space or create spaces for your children. So I think that's like that's super decent. So what is one thing you recollect from Moot as you sit here today and we discuss, like, what is one highlight or maybe several highlights that just comes to mind when you think about your experience at Moat?
You asking us or Miss Mom?
All of y'all.
For me, it's my friends. I would say friends.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have friends from 20 something years. So while high school was great, experiences in general in Moat were great. I didn't come to 11th grade, so right, I didn't have some of the things. I will say I didn't come to
She want to
11th
make
grade.
that clear. 11th grade. She want to make that very clear.
But
Okay.
4 years.
Right.
Got it.
yes, only 2. But those 2 years were so impactful. Those 2, I have made some of my lifelong friends in those 2 years. Look, we are 20 years later, and I'm still sitting with like some of my best friends. So for me, what I got from Moat was friendship. Like, and it's just taken me so far. And friends, they've seen me grow, and they've seen so many life changes. They've been with me through ups, downs, in between. So for me, what I got from it was friends. And I figured if I never came here, in 11th grade, right? I wouldn't have these friends. So that's what I got from Moat. From Moat, I got friendship.
I also think Moat, now this is my experience, but I also think Moat allow people to be themselves as they find themselves, right? I think in high school, you don't know who you are. You kind of know, you're finding yourself, you're evolving into whoever you're going to become. But when I think about Moat, while we were a small class, there were so many different types of people. There were the fashion guys, like Miss Merle named. There were the introverts. There were the extroverts. There were all the things, right? And so I think while everybody had different experiences in this space, I do think the space was a safe space for people to be who they are or who they were as they were finding who they were going to become. From my experience. You got something to say, Nisha? Hey, what you think? No? Yes? What you got?
Well, my experience in high school wasn't great. I think out of high school, that's when I became like more of myself. But like in high school, I'm just have to say this: you girls was so mean. I'm sorry, I have to say that.
Spill the tea. We want to know. Really?
Who was mean? Who was mean?
We want to know.
I guess you girls, the most
Wait,
most popular
because she keep
girl.
looking to the left and looking to what is happening here?
Wait, I need to know what mean. Can you explain mean? Do you know? Can you define that for me, please?
For the people who may not know.
For the people in the back.
I guess I would say like not friendly, because like I can speak for myself.
Yeah.
I was really like, I talked to everyone in high school. Like everyone was my friend. I got pictures of everyone from the high school. Like, and it was a group. It was a little cliquish and was was not friendly. But we're older now, so like I'm past that. But I just wanted to let you guys know that y'all wasn't friendly.
She said, "Well, let me." She said,
Where's
"Let me
that?
let you know for the record."
Wait, we were mean. I don't know what not friendly. I don't. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I can't.
And that was not my experience. That was not my experience, but what I will say is that there were others who did feel that way.
Agreed.
So again, that was not my experience. That was not my personal experience, but I do know of others that did feel that way.
That's funny.
Take some time to process it.
Yeah, I'm trying. You see me?
I'm sitting with it. I didn't sit back a little bit. Ain't no back to the chair.
You girls, as in like us ones right here, right?
I didn't say it, so I don't know.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
She said, "I'm sorry."
It's okay. Let it
You guys were part of the tears, okay? You were part of the tears.
We had tears.
We had tears.
tell us more.
What is
There was
a
a
tear?
hierarchy in high
Yeah,
school.
there was definitely a unique hierarchy happening in high school.
Ms. Merle, do you hear this?
Break it down, break it
What
down.
is happening?
I mean, I don't.
Not
I
Miss
don't
Merle sitting up.
do you
Though.
want
Did
me
you see
to
how she
continue
said?
this?
I mean, you take the lead, and I'll help fill in.
Okay, so we had we
This is
did
top
have-
tier,
We
top
did
tier.
have top tier. You ladies would be in that top tier group.
The popular crowd.
Yes.
Well, if I'm gonna be in the
popular
tier, then put me in the top.
the popular group.
Y'all just show why y'all top tier. Look at that.
sorry.
See? I'm gonna stay quiet back here.
Just saying.
Go ahead.
So you had the top tier. You definitely had your middle grade levels. I would probably classify that as the group of,
We had the subsets.
yes, the pretty individuals. That was a very small group. So let's be very clear about that.
Ma'am, don't try to put yourself in categories.
Honestly, you have to be.
That would make it doubly worse.
There's no double dipping.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
So you had a subset of that group. You had the comedy club. You had a subset of the comedy club. You had the in-betweeners.
The athletes.
You had a few athletes. You had a multicultural group. I'll let you guys determine who fell into that category. And then you had the marginalized group.
Who broke this up? Where was this? Was this in a book? Was this in a book? I need to know how y'all broke this up.
I think, wasn't there a burn book?
No. Wait. No.
Wasn't there a burn book?
There was not a burn book. That's where I'm gonna draw the line.
Are we sure?
There was a. I don't know what a burn book is unless we refer to the. Yes, it was a slam book. There was a slam book, and it was not started by us. I want to make that clear too. But we participated. But I feel like everybody participated.
So who has the slam book?
Who knows where that book is? But the slam book was not. It was, you pick a number, right? Y'all can correct. I'm trying to remember. You pick a number and then you write whatever you want to say about anybody, but they don't know it's you because you signing it as your number, and nobody knows your number. So people talked about who they liked. People talked about things that people did. You know, it was gossip. It was the gossip book, the whatever book. But I don't know. From my recollection, it wasn't like this person is this person, or maybe it was, but that ain't my recollection of it. It was just a whole lot of gossip and who you like and who you talk to and you can't talk to because you're scared or whatever.
Oh wow!
Remember the book now? I was in that book, but you guys didn't put me in it.
I was like,
no, I wasn't an author. I was an author. Somebody put me in a book.
Oh.
And it was hurtful growing up. I mean, but it was like somebody from the lower class, and I'm like how you disrespect me? I'm older than you.
That's right. You should have told me. Who was it? We can go find her.
I think, and I seen her. I do see her. The person who put me in the book. We ain't gonna speak no names, but that's the past. But
Interesting.
So, Miss Ra, I have a question. When you hear of the tiers, did you see that? Like, did you see the different cliques and the popular group, the marginalized, the pretty group? Did you see those cliques as a teacher?
You knew they were groups. I mean, that's obvious. That there was obviousness. But I didn't feel that they were. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say. Maybe because we were a small school, it was more obvious in a small school because it's obvious that this group is this, and this group is that. Especially the marginalized young person. I remember the young man with his trench coat.
Yes.
I remember him because I always felt as though he was a good student, but you always felt there was a lot to his story that you never knew.
Mm-hmm. There was.
And because of that, I felt very, I kept praying over how should I approach him? How should I deal with him? Because I didn't want to be the one to come down on him, and he didn't need to be come down on. So yeah, okay, I'm going to say something. I might get hit forever.
Take your time, Miss Merle. Take your time.
Young people, this is a general statement. Young people are very much into themselves, and they're only really into who they're with.
Yeah,
they don't really see. They see the other groups, but they don't really see the other groups.
I think
break that down, Miss Merle, because that was a word right there. Break that down.
Because it's basically I'm about me. In high school, this is true of most young people. Yeah. I'm about me, and because I'm about me, I'm about only my little group. Now I know there are other groups out there, and that's why I think sometimes people who are on the outside feel really much on the outside because it isn't that they pushing you out there, but you're not here with me. This is one of the things I loved. You never experienced this, which is sad. We used to have school shows. And when we had school shows, people kind of left their groups. because there were kids who wanted to dance.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to come out of their groups to be in the dance room. They wanted to act. They wanted to be the makeup people. They wanted to do the garments. They wanted to do this. They wanted to do that. They had to leave not only their group, they had to leave their grades. Because you had 8th, 9th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders all mixed up. So school shows to me were awesome places to kind of break
it up. Yeah.
some of this. It's still going to be there.
Yeah.
It's just part of the nature. But it gave it a chance to break up so other people began to know other people.
Yeah.
And that was good. And I that's what I was asking about, did you do a school
Yeah.
show?
Yeah.
No,
Year I
we
wanna
didn't in
say,
our years.
oh yeah, you came through in the years we didn't do a school show. So it was much easier to stay as your little clique because you had no reasons really to go somewhere else.
Right.
So you stayed in your little group, and the people outside, it wasn't that you were being mean to them, I don't think, as much as you were ignoring them. You know, they were just not part of who you were.
That could be true.
Yeah, and so you saw them. They sit on the radiator.
Yeah.
Or they would walk together down the street, even if they weren't in the same classes together. And you see them at lunchtime together and all. So you knew they were there. But I didn't see what you saw so much. But I can understand why it was there. I can understand why it was there. But wasn't very much that we could do as teachers, but to try to teach you how to care about other people a little bit. Other than that, you had to kind of let you grow into it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I love how you just broke that down because it makes me think about like just self-discovery, individuality, autonomy, and it's hard for us to fathom that in high school. Like think about individuality or whatever. But it sounds like you all had to reach some pivotal point in your life where you had to step into the woman that you are now. So I think this would be a great moment for y'all to just tell us what was that pivotal. I can't even talk. What was that pivotal moment, for y'all that made y'all shift the trajectory of your life and that pushed you to just propel into, your individuality, like this woman that we're looking at now?
I mean, I guess I'll start. So back in high school, my crew was a bunch of white girls. And they were alternative, like white girls. They kind of turned black a little bit towards senior year. But anyway, I roll with the white girls, so I was always known as, oh, Darla, you always hanging, with your white friends or whatnot. And I loved them dearly. Like they made my high school career. Like I treasure each and every one of them for the part that they played in my life. But when I graduated from Moat and I went from a predominantly black high school, I went to a PWI, which is a predominantly white institution for college, Millersville. And it put me on my ass because I was so used to being around a bunch of black people. Even though I had my crew of white girls, I was surrounded by nothing but black people. And then to go to nothing but white people was eye-opening. Like it was eye-opening. So it made me embrace my pro-black side. Like one of my ancestors is William Still, and he was the conductor. He was the head conductor of the Underground Railroad. So his homie was like Harriet Tubman. He was in it with us in order to free us. So I started embracing, that history and that side more, and that's when I turned pretty much pro-black, and I was pretty militant up until a certain point. It's kind of cooled down as the years have gone by, but I appreciate that change of my world going from all black to all white. So it made me who I am today, which is a more well-rounded person that knows her history and knows our struggles and things like that and what we're capable of.
I'm so glad you told that story, Darla, because I'm sure, I mean, that's how we remember you, right? And I'm sure I can speak for the whole class when we say, how the hell did she turn out to be like that? Now we have the story, So, thank you for sharing that because I was certainly wondering, how did she go from goth, if you will, to very much I'm black and proud on some. A public enemy? Yeah. So I mean, that's amazing to hear that story and to even see that shit. Because I'm sure, I don't know, if y'all felt like that, but I was just like, how did that happen? So, yeah.
And I appreciate Miss Merle's view on high school children, right? Because at that time we were in it. So when you're in something, it's hard for you to see outside of yourself or outside of the experience. Now we're 20 plus years out of it. So looking back, we all have our own experiences. And when you're so young, you don't know how you're showing up, right? You know, like Ms. Merle said, it's really about self. You know who you are, whether it's the strong, loud, whatever, or the insecure, small, soft spoken person. You know your own stuff, right? You know what you're trying to gain or how you're showing up or how you think you're showing up. But you don't necessarily know how everybody else is experiencing you, right? And that can be very different. That could be two different worlds. And so thinking about as an adult, thinking about our high school class, I would say that I would say, right? I don't know what everybody else would say, but I would say I was cool with not cool. Well, I was cool with everybody. I wasn't friends with everybody. I would say that. But I felt like I could talk to anybody or like say something to everybody if I needed to, have conversation if I needed to. I wasn't really shy or felt put off by anybody. And even in multiple grades, like a grade above us, a grade below us, things like that. But and I would not say that I was a mean girl if I had to tell the story, right? But you just don't know how people are experiencing you. So I think one of the best parts of being grown women and having this level of dialogue, right, is it gives you an opportunity to be reflective and see how do people experience you in the world, and is that what you want their experience to be? And if it's not what you want their experience to be, it's a moment of self-reflection, right? Some things you can do probably better, right? And some things it just might not jive with people. So you don't change totally who you are. But I think as a grown woman, my one of my goals is to always continue to be my best self. And so if my best self isn't showing up, or if it's not landing, right, the way I think it's landing, then how can I continue to tweak and grow and be conscious and be mindful as I work to be my best self daily? You know what I mean? So I think that's a great part of evolving into womanhood, definitely from teenage high school girls who you only know what you know, which we ain't know nothing at that point. I feel like so. That word don't like be pivotal.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my pivotal point might have been finding out I was a mean girl. I didn't know. I didn't know I was a mean girl. I don't know. And today, here we are. No, I just think life. I was today years old when I found out. No, I just think I don't know. I don't have a pivotal moment. I just think that just life, just years and life and experiences, the culmination of it has had there's been several pivotal moments, right? And I just know that through them all, one of my goals is to always show up as my best self. I do know that I am a protector, right? And so sometimes I can come off very raw, right? Because I'm who is it? Who messing with you? That's why I'm like, who was the girl who wrote in the book, Anisha? Because we gonna find them and we gonna settle this. I don't care if it's 20 plus years later.
Dang,
So,
we gonna go find her though.
Yeah, I mean, she Anisha says she know where she is. No. And that's the thing. Not with not violence. We no violence. No violence at all. But you gonna have to speak for yourself. What you say that about Anisha for? You know what I mean? You call people on the carpet. So yes, definitely no violence. I don't want that to come across. But you know who you are. But and even your traits, we have our traits even from when we're young, but we don't know how to manage them well as young people. So as you grow, as you get older, you learn how to manage your traits, because sometimes our greatest strengths can also be our areas of weakness. That's true. And so, while I am a protector, while I fight for the underdog, all those things, that could also show up as a weakness, because it can show up aggressive, it can show up loud, it can show up intimidating, all those things. And while there are spaces where those things work, there are spaces where they don't. And then people can experience you in a way that you don't want them. So I just think life has been a pivotal moment for me. I don't have a pinpoint moment. Yeah.
From the good doctor.
Yeah, come on,
Preaching, right?
Sorry.
Come on, preach. Go ahead, preach. But Miss Climber over there, your face is. I've been watching you the whole time, and I'm like, what's she thinking about?
I am just taking it all in. I agree with Zenobia. I don't have a pivotal moment to reflect on. it's just going through experiencing life, losing family, losing friends, hearing your testimony, Iris, about how you've maintained friendships for over 20 plus years. Unfortunately, I don't have that same story. um, a lot of my longest lasting relationships happened after, post high school. So, I really don't have anything to necessarily say changed the trajectory of my life. It's just me grinding, me doing what I do, and making things happen.
VP.
No.
Earned it.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank
Working
you.
hard.
When we talk about pivotal moments, Reese, it's funny that you mentioned people passing. I don't think I got my pivotal moment until my mom passed, which was a few years ago. So I'm grown, full grown. But when she passed, I think 2021, for me, it was one of those moments where it was like, you know what? Especially coming off of COVID, like coming off of that 2020 year, it was one of those things that was like, if you're going to live life, if you're going to do something, like stop thinking about it, stop saying this isn't the time, stop saying later, I'm going to wait, because you may never get to do it. And my mom, she didn't, I mean, she lived a beautiful life. She had a lot of, what's the word I want to use? She went through a lot in life, but she ended up like towards the later half of her life, I just saw her transition into the woman that she wanted to be. So when she passed, I said, I'm not going to wait that long to become the woman that I want to be. It would be doing a disservice to her to wait until later in life to become the woman that I know that I can be. So my pivotal moment didn't happen until recently, and it takes a lot of courage and self-confidence to do something like that. And even the most confident people see me all the time. They see me and they just think, oh, she confident. She don't need no anything. I don't need nothing. And that's really not the case. A lot of confident people are not confident sometimes. So it was just that. It was like losing her made me realize, like, you know what? You're just gonna have to jump all in. Everything that you see me doing now is because I was like, I just gotta do it. If I don't do it, I'm gonna die. I'm literally going to die wishing that I had become who I knew I was supposed to be the whole time. So that's my pivotal moment.
I love that because I know for myself, it was a point in my life where I was having a conversation with God, and I was just like, well, Miss Mar already brought him up, so I'm also just keep talking about him, you know. So, and I was like, God, I know it's more to life. I felt like in high school or in middle school, like when time would pass, I was like, these people lied to me. They lie, like like I gotta figure this crap out by myself. Like it was just life that was life at the moment, and so I really had to say like I know it's more to life, and so I had to start practicing like is this term that I'm studying is called self authorship. So I had to start studying the art of self authorship, knowing who I am, like knowing where my self worth, knowing my self concept, what that looks like. And so to hear you say that, I'm pretty sure we all can connect to everything you said. So how has your self concept, your self esteem, your self worth has like shaped and molded mold
Not moldy,
motivated,
but
right.
not moldy, but mold.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like into who you are, like how for the people who, because I'm pretty sure we all have days where we don't feel like it. We just don't. Like we have all these responsibilities, all these obligations. And so it's like how do we find that strength to just keep going? How?
I mean, you have to look within yourself.
Mhm.
And a lot of times you have to center yourself with the right people. On days when you don't have it for yourself, you got to lean on your tribe. You got to lean on your people. It's so funny because the last 2 weeks I have been like, this ain't it. I can't, I'm not. About a month ago, I had my whole 2024 planned out to July. Real life. I was proud. Like, what? I got this planned out to July. And then I don't know what kind of air came over me, but it literally just I swear to God, it felt like it took the life out of me. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that in March. Nope, I don't want to do that either. I'm scratched the whole. I was scratching 2024 before 2024 even started, and I had already planned it. And when I planned it, I knew it was God because I literally that wasn't Melissa. That was God. That was, and I said I'm not gonna do it no more, right? And then people calling me and talking to me. You can ask them, and I was just like, I don't know, whatever. And a word came to me. You'll get words like just from anywhere. And I had a friend just kind of like she just texted me. She was like, what I asked her was, and I encourage y'all to ask your people too. What I asked her was, have you seen any growth in me over the year? That was the first question. Over this whole entire year, have you seen any growth in me? And if you had 3 things that you could change about me, like you could be like, I'm taking this, this, and this out of Melissa, what would they be? That was a question I asked her. She answered it. And then a couple days later, she said, you know what I forgot to say to you? I admire your strength. She said, on days when I'm just like, I can't make it, I look at you and I'm like, she's so strong. I want to be strong like that. Right. And I was like, oh, it came on a day when I wasn't feeling that strong. Couple days later, a friend said to me, out of nowhere, she's like, I'm watching this show. She was like, and this guy said, whenever he's trying to whenever he doesn't feel like doing something, he looks to a person that's like that. So, for example, he said, whenever he can't handle stress, he thinks of his wife and how she handles stress. And then he taps into he taps into her. He finds his inner wife to like deal with the stress. And my friend said to me, whenever I want to get something done, I tap into my inner Melissa because I know she's gonna get it done. Like she's gonna get it done and it's gonna be like exceptional. Like it's gonna be grandiose, it's gonna be bigger than big. So whenever I get lazy or I feel like I can't do it, I think of you. And then I find strength to do it. And I was like, that came on a day when I wasn't feeling, you know? And then I had Iris say to me one day, she's like, girl, I was watching. First of all, I am a new Beyonce fan. Okay. And I love this Renaissance album. And she was like, I was watching the movie, and the whole time I was watching the movie, I was thinking of you. Like her work ethic is like amazing, top notch. Now, I was never a huge Beyonce fan, but I will never deny that lady's work ethic. So when she said it, I took it like a compliment. Like you, you comparing me to the queen. I'm sorry, but I was like that. That was good. I mean, because when I'm working, I really feel like I'm working. Like it looks easy on the outside, but I'm really sitting here like, you got to do this, this, this. And no, I don't want it like that. Take that out. I have no problem speaking up or just saying what I need to say. So 2 weeks, I've been feeling like done. And in 2 weeks, I got a word from 3 people just randomly to tell me that, like, no, keep going, keep pushing. So I say that to say that long drawn out story to say, you got to like really tap into your tribe and you got to really tap into your inner you. And you got to really believe that you can be, I mean, it starts with self. You have to believe in yourself. Nobody's going to believe in you more than you.
Amen.
No, for sure.
Oh, yes.
Like I learned that. Like I'm like, damn, ain't nobody behind me. Like, go ahead, girl. Like, you better get like ain't nobody like so it's so much that you said that I can say, you know what, like that resonates, right? But I want to hear like what is it anything that was just said that you all could like resonate and add to it?
Well, for me, I'm just gonna say, my self esteem was built like currently in my adult years. Like in high school, I didn't have much. I was very shy, and I was like probably like the outcast. But growing up, I was very like determined to have friends and have let people like me. Like I was like we gonna talk. Like we gonna talk to each other. We're gonna be friends. But then like I used to be like shy too. So then like when I started working in the corporate field, and they was like, you're so shy," and I was like, I'm not shy. I was smoking, and that's why I wear the 613 hair over my head because I'm like I'm gonna be y'all gonna see me.
Yes,
You're
I love
gonna
that.
hear me
I love
because I
that.
was very soft spoken and quiet in high school, and like growing up now, I'm like no, I'm not intimidated by nobody.
Yes.
I'm gonna be out here in these streets. Like
And you literally out here.
I
in
was,
these
I was about to say,
streets,
I was about to say, yeah.
and you gonna catch niche any and
Yes,
everywhere
yes.
in the city. You
Wait,
hear me?
wait, what did you say? You call her?
I don't even know if we can say it right now. Can we call? Can
Oh
we
yeah,
call
we
his
can't say.
name?
Oh yeah, I don't know if we
yeah,
can
I
say
don't
his
know if we can say
name.
his name right
Maybe
now.
it's
Niche
just-
in the city. We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
Niche in the city. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
yeah,
Boo.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
find her everywhere though. Everywhere I
Outside,
go, I swear, everywhere in the city I go, and it's random spots. It's not like you catch her like in the same spot.
I
Right?
love that.
everywhere.
And I seen a lot of people from high school too. And I remember seeing Corey, and then I seen Melissa, and I was like, and then when you asked me, we was talking about the production. I was like, wow, should I do it? And I was like, oh no, I ain't have a great experience. And then when you was telling me who was else was gonna be a part of it, I was like, all right, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna join it. And then now that I'm glad I'm here because we talked about it, and like there's no tense, no moments. We like we cool, like
Yes, we love you. We
Yes.
Yes.
cool. Now that I told y'all how I felt, we cool.
Yeah,
She
uh-huh.
cleared her conscience.
Yes.
She
Yes.
She said y'all went from mean to queen.
Period, that part.
But I also think, like, back to this whole thing about self and self evolving at high school versus now and all the things. I'm sure y'all probably heard this phrase that confidence is a thief, comparison is a thief of joy, right? And so we look at people who have things that we feel we aren't strong in, and sometimes we compare ourselves to that and think that we give them more power than really we should, because you just don't know what's behind it, right? And so to Melissa's point about, she seems like she's confident and strong, but some days she not, right?
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes people think, oh, I don't have to check on them. They good. They got it. They okay. But it's unfair to yourself to compare yourself to somebody else, because you just don't know, one, what's behind the scenes, right? You don't know what other people are going through behind that facade. Or how they're, I won't call it a facade, but how they show up every day. You don't know what's behind that. And then you stifle who you really can become, right? Because you can admire. I think it's fair to admire things in other people, but don't compare yourself to it as if you're lesser, right? Because I think that you just don't know the other components to somebody's life that make you feel like they have the it.
Yes.
And what they had to go through to get the it, or what they go through when you don't see the it, might not be something you want and or need. So to admire, I think, has a place. But I don't think you should ever. So if I had to say something to my younger self, right, to my high school self, it would be, don't compare yourself to anybody else, right? Just walk your journey and be confident in the spaces and places that you go in, that you'll learn or get what you need. Because comparison is definitely the thief of joy. You're miserable because you think you're missing what you think you see in other spaces. So that came up for me as they were talking.
I love it.
feel like for self-esteem, I feel like I'm still coming into it. Like I feel like I've definitely have grown from where I was, right? Like I never really had bad self-esteem. I don't feel like I had low self-esteem. I don't feel like, but I also was not always as confident in like who I am and in my person, my body, everything. Like I feel like I'm all growing into that. I'm in a space now where I'm comfortable with myself, but every day I'm learning more. Like every day I'm learning more about who I am, the things I will and will not accept, my expectations, like what to expect and what not to expect. So for me, I feel like my self-esteem is constantly growing, it's constantly getting stronger, it's constantly, I'm constantly evolving. So with that, I'm just constantly still learning. And like I said, while I don't have, I don't know, like, I don't know how to necessarily phrase ill self-esteem is something that is just, I'm leaning into it, I'm growing with, and I'm just taking day by day. Like if something comes up, I'm like, that's unexpected. How you gonna handle this one? And then you handle like, okay, well, now you know how to deal with this situation. You know how to deal with this. You know how you want to react. I'm able to just kind of grow and lean into it and move forward.
I love it.
I'm just gonna jump in real quick. Well, since I've turned 39 plus one,
Hey, I like that.
I realized I'm a really dope human being, and I really didn't know that in high school. I was insecure. I was quiet. I was an introvert. I was funny on the low. I've always been funny on the low. But, like it took me a long while to recognize those dope qualities like within myself. So a lot of people, that come up to me now, like, oh, like, I'm very, I don't want to say like popular. I don't want to say top tier on Facebook.
Come
but
on in, lean on
I
in.
generate like a lot of good conversations. Like I'm very engaging, like with the people that are on my page. Like I ask a lot of either thought-provoking questions or like spicy questions, like they get people like talking and interested. I'm a
Speaking
meme
of spicy
queen.
questions.
I love a good meme. So I always get people that come up to me like from high school. They're like, "You were nothing like this in high school," and I was like, "I was kind of on a low, but like, I've come more into it. I've embraced it more." So I would say to my younger self, actually stay on the path that you are. Like I had to be on that path in order to get to where I am right now. But just like try and love yourself a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Merle, can we ask you a question? So Ms. Merle shared, I don't know if y'all were, if y'all knew, Ms. Merle shared she was 78, right? And looks amazing.
Who was close? Who was close? Who figured that? You
Ms.
did?
Merle, we had a little poll about. We had a little poll about how old you were when you were our teacher. So I don't know who won. Sharice won. Sharice was right.
Yeah.
Okay, but Ms. Merle, you now at your age, at 78, you've passed 40. You've passed this realm that we're in. What advice would you give when it comes to self-esteem, or what would you tell your 40-year-old self, or just women from high school to now, as a now seasoned woman?
Yes.
78.
Yes.
Yeah.
Song.
Okay. You need to, okay. As a Christian, I have to come from a Christian perspective because that's where I am.
Mhm.
I believe very strongly that there are times in our lives when we look at ourselves as the world sees us,
Mm.
instead of seeing us the way God sees us.
Mhm.
And to be able to start to rotate and progress yourself in your journey to a place where you start to see yourself the way God sees you helps. I know at my age, a lot of people say, well, you're 78, really? Yeah, God let me get there. I'm here. I have friends who are not here right now. And I don't want to see myself the way the world sees me. The world tells me, oh, you're 78. Well, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this, you should be getting Botox and this and that, and all kinds of stuff done. But God says, no, I got you. You just keep progressing the way and walking this journey with me, and we'll be fine. I think there's times in your life when I remember hitting 40. I had some friends who went to Tahiti and I thought that was awesome. I'm just not a traveler. Okay, but they were. And I thought it was awesome. I thought it was, I was cheering them on, like, go for it, you know.
You go, not me.
Not me.
Right.
Not
I'm
me,
right here.
but you go for it. You start to learn things about yourself. You start to learn who you really are and not who you think you are, not who somebody else thinks you are, but who God says you are. And when you start to, and that takes a long time because I'll be there until he takes me home. But as you start to get this clarity about yourself, what other people start to say, you can say, thank you, that was very nice. I appreciate that comment. But doesn't mean I'm going to take it in. But I'm going to be gracious about this to them because they're a different place than I am. And that's one thing let me put that down there. You always need to know where you are and know that everybody is not where you are.
That's true. Yeah.
And you cannot take them where you're going. They have to go where they're going to go.
Listen.
But at the same time, you respect where they are, but you understand they're not where you are. So when they make comments, you take it as a gracious thing, but you understand I'm getting it from where they are, not where I am. And at 40, you really need to start thinking that way.
Mm.
You really do, because the world out here is going to try to pressure you into their picture of a 40-year older and what you should be doing at 40. And you need to say, that's not me. That's what you say. And you have to decide for yourself at 40, who am I? Where do I want to go? Where's my life taking me? I'm not letting other people speak into my life things I don't want there. So at 40, yeah, that's where I was at 40. That's where I was at 40.
Did you notice that, like, you working at Moat was a ministry?
Oh,
When you was
absolutely.
there?
Oh my God. I prayed over my room. I oiled my room down.
Yes. Yes.
Plead the blood. Anointing oil. I oiled chairs. There were times, there were kids.
Yes,
there were
that's
kids.
right.
Now wait a second.
That's right.
I
We
was
needed
wondering
it.
where that little stain came from, but now I know. Okay.
It makes
Yeah.
sense.
Exactly.
There were times I put a little oil on some of the crazy ones, and I go,
Oh,
lady, I appreciate you.
She might have patted my head.
Yes, I would.
She might have patted my head.
You may have.
Listen, all of y'all got anointed. Oh, wow.
Everybody got annoyed up because I annoyed my room constantly.
Wow.
That's
Do
one of the reasons I
Do you
came in
remember your
early.
room number? You remember your room number?
103? I was right across from the office.
I'm about to be scared.
103. I was right
I was
across
about
the
to
office.
ask, is it 3 on what?
No, 103.
Oh,
103. I was right.
Jeezy
They put
album.
me in that room. I had my daughter that year, so I didn't move me. Mrs. Moskowitz, who was our coordinator then, she moved me and she wanted me right across from her. So I was right across from the office. I don't
You
want
sure
to be right
was.
across. From I wanted to be upstairs. No, right across from the office. But I would anoint my room constantly. Oh, I take my my Bible out and speak the word.
Well,
That's
we
right. And
appreciate it.
look,
That's why. Look.
like, look what the power of God has done.
Yes.
Like, all these years later, and I'm pretty sure, like, like you're a principal, so I'm sure you don't just walk into the school with just you. I'm sure you take God with you and everyone else, and even Miss Merle. Wow. I think that was a good ending.
No, I was there, but like I don't remember too much about the Olympics. I mean, the school was divided in half. We had different games that we participated in, but like
Yeah, different team names.
Yeah, different team names. I feel like Walter was
Whack ass No Limit Soldiers.
Walter did something.
And that top tier was Rough Rider. Top tier was Rough Rider.
Here we go.
Well, top tier decided that we wasn't either.
Yeah, facts. We really
Either
did
one of
decide we wasn't going to be neither. So, Miss Merle, the Olympics. The Olympics. What do you remember about the Olympics that particular year?
That's one of the last years of the Olympics.
Oh,
Shut it down.
That was on shirt.
That sounds about right.
Because when that's why I had to ask someone who was in charge, because the person who started it all, he had a PhD and he was moving on, and I went, oh yeah, that's right, somebody else took over. But what we found out was most of the young people were not interested. It was a time when it used to be a time when the school would divide into and everybody would have an exciting time. Everybody was excited. And
no.
Didn't that count for our gym credit?
no, that was the end of the
No,
year.
no, yeah.
It was the culminating thing.
Yeah,
I don't remember. It may have, but I don't remember.
At the end
I
of the year.
really
No,
don't
it didn't.
remember. But by the time you were seniors, the Olympics were a thing where people weren't interested. Even though it was 2 days when you didn't have class and everything, people were not interested. Some kids, our attendance was 95% or above at our school on most days. Okay. Until you got after finals. So we won't count that. But before finals, 95% of attendance. Most of the kids, they came to school. Those 2 days, there were a number of kids would not come to school those days.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Because they were not interested. And somewhere along Mrs. Kavanaugh and the faculty decided if that was the case, then why have it? I'd rather have those days as instructional days rather than have something that was not something that was something that students were interested in doing. So they it ended either that year or the year after.
I think we put the cherry on the
Wow.
top. I think our
We
protest.
definitely-
I
When
think
they
went
seen them
ahead and
shirts.
said,
I definitely
We're not doing
think
this
we put
again.
the cherry on the
Oh,
top.
wow.
Yeah.
So-
And we want to know why.
So you talk about self-confidence and you talk about all the things and how we become. It wasn't a top tier thing, y'all. We decided we wasn't going to be no team. So that I really wonder if that was it. So that year, Miss Merle, we had a year where it was Olympics. I think as seniors, that's when you get to choose the
year.
And I really would love to hear everybody else's version of the story because it gets muddled somewhere. But that year, the teams got split, and I think these was the same guys you talking about. What you call them? The diva, what?
The guys.
Diva guys.
The
my
diva guys. Your diva guys. Your diva guys. Were I think they might have been team captains, or maybe as the group, as the friend group, as we were talking about, they wanted to be on the same team.
Probably.
I don't remember, but they ended up getting split. As the girls over here would say, we were the top tier group, right? We decided, like, you can't split us up, to your point, Ms. Merle. Like, you only see what you see. You only see what you see. You don't see all the work that the administration may have put into it or anything like that. You don't think about the other kids. You just see, this is my friend group, and we want to be on the same team. Well, they split us. So when they split us, we was like, we're not having it. I think if I remember correctly, Corey might have got the list. When he got the list, he shared the list with the friend group and was like, this is who's on the team. That went a whole nother way because we was like, no. We want who we want on this team. I think they may have asked Miss Cav, and y'all fill me in anywhere, right? They may have asked Miss Cav to change the people who were, like, change the teams up. Like, if I want Diamond on my team, she's gonna be on my team. If I want Iris on my team, and Miss Cav, it was a hard no. I'm not changing nothing. It is what it is.
Right.
So we said, oh yeah?
Fuck the Olympics.
I remember.
We said-
That's literally what we said.
Miss Cav got
Fuck
about
the
the
Olympics.
That's literally what we
changing
said.
the list. I knew that part.
You knew what part?
About the change, because Miss Cav had told us about the. I think that was one of the reasons why when we talked about it, they talked about stopping.
The icing on the
Really
cake.
shut it down.
Mhm.
Now, I didn't know. That's
It
news
was
to
the
us.
shirts.
I didn't know
Shirts,
that we
y'all.
shut it down. Y'all, we shut it down. We shut it down.
Top tier did it.
Right?
And that's some top tier.
That really
Wow.
is. So we
Well, you
decided
weren't the only ones. There
Oh.
were others.
the others after us.
There were others, and even during in your class that wanted. If you can do
Gotcha.
dot dot dot.
Oh, yeah,
then
yeah,
we
yeah.
want
Other one
to
of the
do
teams.
Yeah.
dot dot dot.
Ah.
Oh, is that what
Include
happened?
them. If they, you know how rumors get started, and they're
Mhm.
going into Miss
Use the
Cat,
mic.
and they want to get put on the same team. Well, then the rumor starts. They're going to get put on the same team. Not saying it's true, but that rumor starts.
Yeah.
Talking about
Okay.
rumors.
So then you have somebody else say, "Well, if they can do that,
Yeah.
then we should be able to be on the same team."
It
Can I
starts
just
up one.
interject? When did all of this happen? Like, I'm so confused right now.
It happened. We have the
Like,
proof.
when did this?
We
And
have the
I knew
proof.
everybody. Like,
We have the
did
proof.
y'all know about these conversations? Like, were y'all trying to switch teams?
No, I wasn't part of it. I just remember being outside when everybody had their little colorful stuff on and just like taking pictures of like stuff like of everything. And I was like, wow, what's going on?
Why
And
were
I
you
was
taking pictures? What was your thought? What was your thought?
I was just thinking, I was like, oh, they gonna get in trouble and not me.
And I'm gonna have it on footage too.
I don't know. I was just mad about being No Limit Soldier. I'm not gonna let it go. All right. I didn't want to be the No Limit Soldier. Okay.
No Limit Soldier?
I didn't want to be a No Limit Soldier. I wanted to be Rough Rider.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really what happened, right? They had certain people who wanted to be on certain teams. But because they wouldn't switch it up, we said, nah, after the Olympics. We literally was like, fuck
We
that.
ain't doing it.
We not doing it.
We ain't doing it.
So we decided we're going to buy these white t-shirts and spray paint. And we decided we're going to go home and make these shirts. We literally make these shirts in my backyard, right? Corey, I don't even know who's the culprit. Who came up with this name? One of them. Okay. It probably was one of them. In mass conversation. So we grabbed the shirts, we grabbed the spray paint.
Blame the boy.
I'm sure it was the boys, but we probably was the organization behind it. I'm sure it was the boys, and we were the organization behind it. We made these shirts in my backyard, literally, and my mom was so supportive. I think because we told her it stood for the Olympics. She had no idea. She was, and then when she heard, she was, oh
protest.
my God, yes, Corey, yes, those shirts look so nice, right? So the shirt said FDO on the front. You put your name and you put your numbers on the back. And we just now it's as we're traveling and we're buying things, I think we just adding sauce on every time. Because now we like, and you know what too? We're gonna wear the shirts and we're gonna show up at the games and we're not gonna play. We ain't playing nothing. But we're gonna show up.
Yep.
And this was
You
Rough Riders
remember?
was saying.
Yeah.
Because you had to take attendance.
Yes.
When you were taking attendance at your game, you knew you put down that person was not there, but you also knew they were present in school.
Right.
So all these things help to bring the Olympics to an end.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
Because it was like most of the teachers were like, "No, I'm giving up 2 days."
I know that's right.
So I don't want to do this. This for y'all.
They said F for real.
Yeah.
They said F for
Y'all
real.
gonna say F it?
Right.
Yeah, F for real.
Wait.
So we going to forget.
Yeah,
Mr.
for
Burrow
real.
was- Don't you remember him in his shorts?
I mean, I remember the comb over.
I can't.
Yeah, he was furious when we was out there in them shirts
I would
and he was
love
taking
to
attendance
not
and we weren't
think of
on the
it, but
team.
I see him in his
On his
shorts.
team. Or whatever team he was
Oh
on.
my goodness.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
literally
Wow.
said we're not gonna do it.
You have video?
No, it's
And then now,
Oh,
but now
yeah.
it's really
And
not.
it really is no
It's
Olympics.
really so.
And the
Really,
thing about the Olympics was it was a great time, right? We 2 days, and I think we might have been the only school, and I think Natalie might have said we were the only school who would actually let kids. I don't even know how our parents let us do that. How did y'all get? We literally were off school grounds. Like I'm talking about in 10-mile radius. Like we were just off school grounds playing all kinds of games, like basketball, football, whatever. Like if we had a pool, we probably would have been swimming. It was just all kinds of games. And some stuff was inside and some stuff was outside. So instead of going to your period, when the bell rung, you just went to another game. But remember, the team is split up into 2. So the more points you get, then you know who wins what. But we said we're making a third team. And whatever points y'all get, y'all get.
Right.
That's literally what happened. And then we took the shirts and the 7 shirts turned into 14 shirts and the 14 shirts turned into 20. I mean, we literally had people from every other class wearing these shirts. And then we didn't.
It was a
movement for real.
It was a movement.
Oh yeah,
for
it was a
real.
movement for real. Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking. So groundbreaking that it stopped.
That's
it.
no more.
I mean, what the heck?
Wow, I know, right? Wow.
To be fair, motivation still exists. It's just no longer a part of Bartram. So
Oh,
it is. It's it's not. You're right. It's not the same, but it is an independent high school in the city.
Miss
What's it
Mara,
called
how do
now?
you feel about that
Motivation.
rebellion? We asked Natalie the same thing. How do you feel about us being so rebellious at that time?
Well, I personally thought it was wrong. I definitely, because as far as I'm concerned, this group decided that what they wanted was more important than the rest of the school. And what the rest of the school thought of and wanted to have a good time, a lot of them, was now being jeopardized by this group. This group, this group really, they just kind of,
The rebels.
and some members of the group, you really didn't expect you really didn't expect to be in that group.
I know. I didn't expect me to be in it either, Miss Mara. I don't know what happened.
Truthfully.
It was a rough time. I'm getting a lot of shots over here.
Weren't you an officer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a senior freshman advisor.
Yeah. She was an officer. She had a duty.
Wow.
She had
Oh my
responsibilities.
Right.
She was supposed to be, all
Setting an
this, and then
example.
she does this.
Wow.
And it was like, son, no.
Oprah.
Just to shock this up to y'all.
Scoop back up, Zenobia. You come on. You scoop back up. Come on.
So wait, you wasn't surprised by the rest of us?
To be perfectly honest,
No.
I saw what I saw. Yeah, you're right. I wasn't because
Not at all.
again,
Stand 10 toes
young
down.
people were into themselves
Yes.
and what they wanted, and what I was upset with all of you because what I wanted to see by seniors. These were seniors almost. Senior. You had been through Olympics. You had been through the what we're going through, and then to think that what you want is so much more important than what the whole wanted.
Yeah.
That you had to have your way.
Mm.
I wasn't.
I don't mean you. I mean
No. I was just gonna say I wasn't a part of it, but I feel bad.
I mean, yeah, 'cause this is giving us a different perspective.
22 years in the making.
Jeez.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
You know, I'm because when we asked, that's how it was a blur to him.
of course.
That's a moment.
And as an adult now, when we look back at it, we realize that it was wrong, you know, and we always wonder because I mean it's one of our epic iconic stories, right, for our class. But we always wondered like how you guys felt about it. So it's interesting to hear that perspective, and I think on behalf of the class, we apologize.
We apologize.
We
The
apologize.
FDO group, right?
Yeah, just us, just us.
Oh,
just
sure.
us. Just us.
I'm just saying.
What I What I will say on the Evers, right? Like on the opposite side of things. I mean, no, sincerely, we apologize because as an event planner, as an event designer, putting in all things, if somebody messed up my
principal, y'all would have all been taken. Y'all would have had some days off.
real life,
Okay,
like you gonna mess
so
up my
yeah,
plan?
I agree with that apology. It would have
You
never
gonna mess
thrown in my
up my
school.
nothing. You know
Oh,
what it
my
took
Oh,
to probably plan that? Like, you know how long in advance, like just scheduling the days and the time frames and all of that. So as an adult, the adult me is apologizing. The younger me, and there still was even a lesson in that. The younger me, the rebellious me, the one Philadelphia's Philadelphian, right? The younger me, and even looking back on it now, I was like, you know what? Wow, that was a movement. And like, as wrong as it was, it's amazing what can happen when y'all come together and say you're going to change something. If you don't like it, you're going to change it.
That's true.
It was wrong. Miss Murrah, I'm sorry. It was wrong. But there's still a part of that that lives in me today that makes me go forward. Like, you don't like it? What you going to do about it?
Yeah.
How you going to change it? What moves you going to make? Who you going to get behind you? How much of a leader are you? You ain't really a leader if you're not making these kind of moves. If you're not shutting it down, are you really a leader?
Right.
So we apologize.
But
we apologize. I do miss.
You said but.
With age comes wisdom, as you would say, with age comes wisdom. But that little bit that still lives in us. It still lives in us, and I'm so glad you had the other portion of the story. It's still like, you know, I never knew that we could do something that ground. I didn't know at a young age we were doing something that groundbreaking to the point where it was like, you know what? They both sides said after Olympics.
No, for real.
No, both sides said
And men and the students. We old. Right. So,
Literally.
you know, I just want to know, you know, what would be one or two words, you know, you could say right now just to basically sum up, you know, the experience, the dialogue that we had today.
Reese, we're gonna start with you, baby.
Two words. I would honestly just one for me, which would just probably be impactful. Just listening to all the stories, taking it in, and just like hearing everything. It's really been very impactful this last hour or so. So I'm enjoying it all, and I look forward to more conversations.
I guess I'll go next. I'm gonna say healing. I feel like a lot of people were able to get some shit off their chest that they needed to get off. We had to break some what's the word I'm looking for? I guess people thought that they were a certain way, and it didn't appear that way to certain people. So again, that offered like some healing, and I really enjoyed that, especially now that we are 39 plus one.
I'm gonna go off of Darla. That I'm gonna say eye opening, because to hear how you come across to other people unknowingly, it just gives you the opportunity to be more mindful, of what you're doing and how you're showing up. So eye opening.
And I would say growth because we are 39 plus. Those high school years was very traumatizing. I'm just glad
Triggering.
very triggering. Yep. I'm so glad that we are able. Sorry,
some.
not traumatized. I'm just glad we're here right
It
now.
could be.
I'm just glad we're here right now and we can speak on it.
This moment for me, I would say, is like a Sankofa moment. And so Sankofa means to reach back and fetch it, right? And so if we as women now living our lives today, going back into high school, reaching back to our teachers, and pulling from that to assess where we are now and how do we want to move forward, I think is a sign of maturity, right? I think maturity is another word that comes to mind. But I just really am enjoying, just continuing, this Sankofa moment of us reaching back, of us being able to connect to our teachers, of us really being able to share these moments and then picking them apart, right? Because there's still lessons to learn as all the pieces of the story come about. So that's what it is for me.
Miss Merle.
One or two words.
Okay, impactful. I feel that you've hit somewhere in your journey where there's been some clarity of what has happened in the past and you may want to see it and how you may want to use it in your future. If your son or daughters came up to you and decided they wanted to do thus and so and thus, how would you advise them? Now, knowing that they still have to make their own decision, but mine would be impactful.
Yeah, me too.
Hey. Oh, you wait for me to give you a word? One or two words.
Impactful is a good
It
one.
could be.
I know that's what I was like. She summed it up.
Yeah, it was that somebody said that. That's a
Impactful.
fact. Somebody said that twice.
Somebody said that
Yes,
twice.
that's
I got to come up with a different one. Transformative. Let's go with that.
Thank you.
I like that.
That's the engineer.
Transformative.
Yes.
You got say it like you
Transformative.
You got say it
like transformative is a good word.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, transformative. It almost makes me think of transition, right? Like just going into this next phase. But I mean, 40 that's a number. That's a page turner. So just going into that next portion of our life, being more aware. You know what I mean? I like that word transformative. It's just taking us somewhere else. And with that being said, I'm hoping that when the rest of our class sees this, that it impacts them, right? Like and it motivates them, and it does something for them, not just them, but their children, their friends, their whoever. Like these are stories that we're telling about, what happened at a time in like motivation. But I'm sure there are 100 people who can relate or these stories resonate with them and or their children right now. Because my kid is in high school. She's probably going through some of the stuff that we are going through at this moment. So yeah, I think that would be my word. Transformative, transition. Something like that, transformative.
Can I give a word?
Absolutely.
First of all, I want to say this because y'all probably watch like, who is this girl?
Yes,
no, I did
ma'am.
not go to Mo. Okay. No, I did not go. So I know I just wanted to say that. No, I didn't go. But it's a couple words that came to mind, and I won't go in order, but womanhood. I was able to see womanhood happen, in this space, and it leads me to my second word, which is proud. Oh, y'all make me so proud to be a Black woman. I'm always proud, but in spaces like I am so proud. Like this makes me even more like, like probably because we do have, like a 10-year age gap, right? Iris said like her sister. I mean like her niece. I said I can't be a sister. I gotta be a niece. But it really makes me very proud. Like, I'm so proud of y'all. Like I really am, and it kind of makes me emotional, right? Because I think it's not oftentimes God allows us to mirror, people, and so it's like you all are dropping jewels for me to be mindful of, knowing how I navigate relationships, like life experiences, just anything. And then the third one would be liberated. Like I feel liberated. I feel free. I feel like a lot of weight was almost lifted off of us. I think that not often, oftentimes people don't get to sit down 20 years later. So I have gratitude. I feel a sense of gratitude to be able to do that. So those are my words. Thank y'all for letting me share, even though I didn't go to Mo. But
Want to make that abundantly clear.
started in the 11th grade. Started in 11th grade. But yeah, I'm so very, very, very proud of you ladies, and I really enjoyed the space that you all just created eclectically. So yeah,
Thank
Thank
you.
you for sitting with us.
yes.
Facilitating this whole.
I mean, I really didn't do much. I mean, I really didn't do much.
Glad to be a part of it. I'm glad that the top tiers did invite us.
That's
Tiers invited us. I'm sorry, but
She getting her
I'm
moment with y'all
glad
today.
I was a part of it and I was able to get everything out. So if you guys are sitting at home and you watching this video, I want y'all to know that it was fun.
We cool.
We cool. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
And if you want to join and get some
I know,
stuff,
right?
just
Oh my gosh.
say the word and we can invite you in. It'll be a great time. And let you know. You know I'm fun, so be outside.
We outside
In the city.
Yes.
I mean, I too was skeptical coming in as a no limit soldier. So I was skeptical, but I'm glad I gave it a chance and decided to be a part of this process. It's been eye opening. It's been funny. And we've been able to like reminisce about some good times. Like even just being in the room, Miss Merrill is like transporting me back to like 12th grade. Like it's pretty awesome. So I would hope you guys will want to be a part of this project. Just to give your perspective, like again, everybody's perspective from high school is different, from the top tiers to
the top tiers.
Marginalized.
the in-betweeners,
So the
marginalized.
Some bass in
All
your chest
our
when you say it.
experiences are so different, and it'd be great to hear about it and hear where you were at then and where you're at now. So come on out.
So, I apologize. I honestly, I echo what everyone else said. I think this is a great opportunity to really reconnect with folks. I know that that's something that I'm really enjoying taking away from the project, and just really sharing your history. Sharing your stories and reconnecting with everyone. I encourage people to get involved, and if you want any more information, just please reach out. Feel free to reach out.
Link is in the bio. Information is listed below.
That part.
What? Is it tea time?
It's
It's
tea
tea
time.
time. It's tea time.
I don't have any.
Okay, it's tea time.
I mean,
I came 11th grade.
Darla has the kettle, so.
I mean, the kettle is it's not that hot though.
No.
Okay.
It's simmering.
So it's a little. I don't
It's
know.
simmering.
I don't know because we don't know if it's true or not.
Throw it out there.
So our random high school rumor question is: did you ever hear a rumor of a student sleeping with a teacher, specifically a Spanish teacher?
Look at Miss
Wait,
Merle's
hold
face.
on. Hold on.
And we're not talking about Mr. Curlin
Okay,
either.
thank you. I just wanted
Not
that
to comb
clarification.
over. Not to comb over.
Francois?
He was a young, strapping lad.
Wait,
That
hold
was
on.
our Spanish teacher for like 5 minutes before he was let go.
25
As a result of
As
said
a-
affair?
Correct.
Okay.
Wow.
Correct.
All right, cool.
What did y'all say in the teacher's lounge?
Am I able to buy it out?
I want to know what happened.
Oh wow.
No, I think that there was rumors what you're saying.
Oh wow.
But I think that there was never really
Findings.
facts,
Confirmation.
facts
It was no, it's all
confirmation.
alleged.
you could say.
But there's rumblings.
There was a mumbling enough that I think that's why the teacher
Uh-huh.
left,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
even if it, and
I know
I
it.
would like to believe it wasn't true. Okay, that's
I
that's
don't know.
fine.
I don't know, Miss
Clear.
Mary. I don't know.
Let's be
I don't
clear.
know.
But I would love to believe it wasn't true. But I think he would have left no matter what, because it would always be over him.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
There was a rumor of a math teacher with a young lady. Not that way.
Okay. Okay.
But just that they were like, he was tutoring her and the door was closed.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay. Not Mr.
Mr. Bill went and opened the door. Everybody remember Mr. Bill, the maintenance man?
No.
Mr.
No,
Bill?
but keep telling the story.
Okay. Mr. Bill was our maintenance man.
Okay, Mr. Bill.
And Mr. Bill realized that there were two people in that room,
Okay.
a male
Uh-huh.
teacher
Uh-huh.
and a student. And he may have just been tutoring,
No, go ahead.
but it did not look appropriate that the door was closed. So he
That's
went
awesome.
and opened the door. He also let the coordinator, okay, this is Mrs. Moskowitz. Okay. So you people weren't there yet. Okay.
We're the
Okay.
Spanish teacher.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
this was, and he was asked to leave.
The Spanish teacher.
No, the math teacher.
The
was
math-
the math teacher was
Dang.
also asked to leave
Some scandals.
because being in a small setting like that, all you need is, even if nothing ever really happened, you know how rumors.
And he
then
was already breathing.
and then he took her home.
Mm.
No,
What?
now see. I'm saying.
Wait, Are we sure?
Miss Merrill, I'm gonna tell you.
He was tutoring her in the room, and the door was closed.
No.
Okay.
Nothing else happened.
Okay.
But I'm saying, as rumors start.
Oh, okay,
Rumors start,
okay,
and rumors then add to it
okay.
by saying, "Oh well, he drove her home."
Okay, so those are
was a
rumors.
rumor.
That wasn't fake. Okay, okay.
No, that was a rumor. Then somebody else added, "Yeah, he took her home, and but he didn't really take her home, right to her home."
Oh,
They went.
Lord.
The rumor adds.
Wow.
The rumor adds. The rumor adds. And the only thing that you know happened was he was tutoring her.
The Pizza Hut at Penrose Plaza.
That's the only
You took her to the
facts that
Pizza
there
Hut
are
at
to
Penrose
the case.
Plaza.
Was that
But
the biggest
know
rumor you
how
heard?
people like spicing things up.
Yes.
Yes.
Go on,
Yes.
spice it up for us, Miss
Something
Merle.
that's simple.
No.
Let's add to it and see how spicy
I don't know.
we
I
can
feel like-
Spicy.
I said, that's how spicy it
There's
can
always a
get.
little truth in that stuff.
Yeah,
now.
it's always a little bit of truth
that's
to a
what I
rumor.
know.
Like she might have gotten in his car. They might not have
No.
driven anywhere.
No,
They might have sat there.
Ooh, but sitting there, but just sitting there.
I'm just saying.
It's early. It's early.
Was it daylight savings time early or was
Daylight
it
savings
like?
time. That's where you're going, Diamond.
Because it do get dark at
Yes.
4 o'clock.
But that's what I'm saying. It's things that like get started. So in both cases, one you would not know about, and I would never mention names.
Either.
He was asked to leave. And with the Spanish teacher, I just heard what the kids heard. I didn't know anything else.
Miss Merle had her ear to the
Miss-
ground.
It was
annoying, honey.
Usually I
was
can have
like,
my
this
advisory
is
room. So my advisory room in the morning was the room most seniors
Yes.
came in
Yes.
and
Yeah.
sat. And
Yeah.
even if I had an advisor, my poor advisor would be standing outside while the seniors would be in my room talking it up until it was time for advisory, and I just kicked them out so my advisor could come in. And they would go, "Miss Merle, did you hear this? Miss Merle, did you hear that? Miss Merle, did you know this is going on?" And I'm going,
Suck it up. What did I do?
Ah!
The kids always know the tea.
So what else was going on in motivation? I mean, we on a good track right now.
Right.
Okay, a lot of things were happening that I can't talk
Okay.
Wow.
Darla, what are things that you can talk about?
I mean, that's all the tea I had.
Okay.
Was there something with Mr. Callan? Did he beat somebody?
What?
No.
Like a bug?
Cause you know he wasn't
He
on
wa-
there. He
yeah,
wasn't
he
wrapped too
wasn't
tight.
on
I thought he had an
there.
incident I thought he had an incident where he choked somebody up in the lunchroom.
Oh no.
Now
He might have gripped somebody.
no.
He might have.
Well, I never heard of it.
Wasn't he like a war vet?
Yes.
And
So
something
yes.
happened to his eye
And the
board.
PTSD. Listen.
Yeah.
There was PTSD.
I can believe that.
So I'm just saying. I don't know.
We're going to have to find out about these rumors on the next episode. That's the next episode.
Well, when more people come into, you never know what.
Tell
they
them,
know.
Miss Merle. Tell them, Miss Merle. Tell the folks.
Well, I think the idea of coming back and reconnecting is good. You know, and I think a lot of people sit back and say, well, what do I have to offer? What you have to offer is you.
Yes.
Right.
Come on
Right.
now.
So why not just come and enjoy an evening with the people that you went to school with? And if you feel as though it wasn't a good connection, at least you experienced it.
Yeah.
And then you could make a decision.
Because we want that story too. We want all the stories.
Tell the folks.
Yeah, we want the good stories, the not so good stories, the funny stories,
And the
sad
spicy
stories.
ones.
The real spicy.
Yeah.
With the spicy ones, the hot sauce, habanero,
Sriracha.
jalapeno,
The tea.
spicy.
Yes.
You know,
The hookups.
Yes.
everything. We
The
want it all.
hookups.
We want it all. All right, well that's it.
I think this was a great episode.
Round of applause.
Mo.